Hello everyone, welcome to Chelsea Sport Focus. But before we dive in, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment of breaking news. Let's get started.
Joao Felix breaks silence with emotional transfer message as Chelsea exit looms. Benfica is my home. Joao Felix has never hidden his love for Benfica, the club that launched his meteoric rise to stardom. But now, as the Portuguese forward stands at a career crossroads, his recent remarks may represent the clearest indication yet that his Chelsea adventure is nearing its end. Having endured a turbulent, stop-start year in West London followed by a modest loan spell in Italy, Felix is now openly eyeing a move back to familiar ground. As he declared in a heartfelt interview with Portuguese media, the club of his heart, Benfica, might be calling him home once again. And this time, the pull feels stronger than ever. A year of uncertainty and underwhelming returns. Joao Felix's Chelsea story has been anything but straightforward. Signed permanently from Atletico Madrid in 2024 for a fee of £45 million, a transfer that many saw as a gamble, Felix arrived in London with big expectations. It was supposed to be a fresh start after years of tactical misfit and instability under Diego Simeone in Spain. At Chelsea, under new management and within a promising young squad, he was meant to finally find his rhythm. The numbers tell a story of glimpses rather than greatness: 7 goals and 2 assists in 20 appearances for Chelsea across all competitions. But a deeper look reveals the core issue: he averaged just 47 minutes per appearance. Trusted at times, overlooked at others, Felix never seemed to fully convince the coaches or carve out a defined role in the starting 11. When the January transfer window opened, Chelsea shipped him off to AC Milan on loan, a chance to reset, regain form, and perhaps build a case for a longer-term future at Stamford Bridge. But the spell in Italy proved lukewarm. 3 goals and 20 appearances once again highlighted a player with immense technical talent, but one still struggling for end-product consistency. Meanwhile, Chelsea had begun planning their midfield and attacking reshuffle, and Felix's name was nowhere in the blueprint. Dario Esugo in, Felix out, the silent confirmation. The most telling sign of Chelsea's position came not through words, but through a shirt number. Earlier this summer, Chelsea officially unveiled the signing of teenage midfielder Dario Esugo from Sporting CP. Alongside the club announcement came a subtle, but significant change: Esugo would wear the number 11 shirt that Joao Felix had previously worn. There was no mention of Felix in the announcement. No reference to a possible return. No hint that the player might be reintegrated. In the world of elite football, where shirt numbers carry weight and symbolism, this was the clearest message yet: Joao Felix's chapter at Chelsea is closing. The Benfica dream, Felix speaks out. Amid this growing uncertainty, Joao Felix has spoken. In a candid interview with Correio da Manhã, the 25-year-old did not shy away from expressing his desire to return to the place where it all began. "Everybody knows Benfica is the club of my heart. One day, I'll certainly return," Felix said. "I don't know if it's now or in the future. I have some ideas in my head, to stay in England or return to Benfica." Felix, who exploded onto the global scene during his breakout season at Benfica in 2018-19, where he scored 17 goals and provided 10 assists under then-coach Bruno Lage, has always spoken with affection for the Lisbon club. Now, with Lage back at Benfica and Felix's family still based in Portugal, the stars may be aligning. "My family is here. I feel like I need to be home, and therefore, Benfica is one of the ideas in my head. Yes, Benfica is my home. One day I will return. I don't know if it's now or in a few years, but if it happens now, I'll be happy." The influence of Bruno Lage, who nurtured Felix during his formative footballing years, cannot be overstated. "He's a coach I know and who was important for my career. That could influence my decision," Felix added. "Of course I'm looking forward to returning to Benfica, and that's probably where I'm most inclined." Chelsea's transfer dilemma. For Chelsea, the Felix situation presents a tricky balancing act. Having committed £45 million to sign him just a year ago, and with the player under contract until 2031, the club is in no rush to sell at a loss. Yet, it's abundantly clear that Felix no longer fits into Enzo Marresca's long-term vision for the team. Marresca is sculpting a new-look Chelsea squad built around versatility, vertical pressing, and tactical intelligence. And while Joao Felix remains one of the most gifted players on the ball in Europe, his inconsistent output, off-the-ball weaknesses, and struggles for positional clarity continue to limit his impact in elite systems. With suitors limited due to Felix's wages and Chelsea's valuation, a loan move back to Benfica seems like the most plausible solution. Benfica may not have the financial power to buy Felix outright, but the emotional connection and mutual desire could help make a deal possible, especially if Chelsea are open to subsidizing part of his salary in exchange for regular game time and the chance to rebuild his value. The emotional return, what it would mean. If Felix does return to Estadio da Luz, it would be more than a transfer, it would be a homecoming. For the fans, he remains a symbol of Benfica's golden era of youth development. For the club, bringing him back would represent not only sporting value but also a powerful marketing and emotional boost. For Felix himself, it could be a chance to reset, regain confidence, and find joy in football again, something that has eluded him since leaving Benfica for €126 million in 2019. It would also serve as a warning to elite clubs. Sometimes, in the chase for hype and headlines, players lose themselves in systems that don't suit them. A return to his footballing roots could reignite the Joao Felix that once lit up Europe, and that possibility is tantalizing. What's next? Joao Felix's story is far from over. At just 25, he has time to rewrite the narrative. But his comments, honest, emotional, and raw, make it clear. The Chelsea chapter is likely closing. The Benfica chapter? It might just be ready to reopen. As Felix himself said, "Benfica is my home. One day I will return. If it happens now, I'll be happy." For Benfica fans, and perhaps for Felix too, that day can't come soon enough. Stay with us, Osimhen. The forward transfer message that echoes loudly amid Arsenal and Chelsea uncertainty. Victor Osimhen may have just completed one of the most iconic seasons in Galatasaray's modern history, but his future is anything but clear. As the 26-year-old Nigerian striker stands on the edge of another career-defining decision, the football world watches in limbo. From the Premier League's powerhouses to the cash-rich leagues of the Middle East, the chase for Osimhen's signature has become both a mystery and a marvel, and Galatasaray fans have made their plea in 4 unforgettable words: "Stay with us, Osimhen." It's a message delivered with love, desperation, and deep appreciation, words printed on banners, lit up on billboards across Istanbul, and shouted in stadiums and city squares alike. And for good reason. What Osimhen has given Galatasaray over the past 12 months is not just goals, but heart, hunger, and heroism. From Napoli's exit door to Galatasaray's golden boy. When Osimhen signed a contract extension at Napoli in early 2024, few predicted he would be wearing Galatasaray yellow and red just months later. His wish to leave Naples had been granted, but the market couldn't match Napoli's eye-watering demands. Chelsea came closest, trying to negotiate complex packages involving loans and staggered payments, while Arsenal hovered as quiet observers. In the end, both clubs failed to act decisively. Napoli, desperate to find a solution, approved an unexpected move, a season-long loan to Galatasaray with a European showcase still possible in the Turkish Super League and Europa League. What followed was nothing short of a redemption arc. Osimhen's glorious season, a Turkish love affair. Across all competitions, Victor Osimhen scored 37 goals and provided 5 assists. He led Galatasaray to a historic domestic double, winning both the Super League and Turkish Cup, stamping his authority as the league's most dominant forward since Didier Drogba briefly dazzled in the same colors. He played 29 times as a starter in the league, coming off the bench twice, and directly contributed to a goal in 22 of his 30 league appearances. His impact wasn't just numerical, it was emotional. Osimhen played like a man possessed. His celebrations were electric, fists clenched, face roared toward the heavens, mask ripped off in gladiator fashion. His connection to the fans was instant and deep. At the airport on his arrival last summer, he was met like a returning king. Supporters chanted his name before he had even kicked a ball, and he lived up to every single expectation. In the Europa League, Osimhen added another 6 goals in 7 matches, missing the first leg of the playoff against AZ Alkmaar due to injury. Galatasaray lost narrowly on aggregate, but the general consensus was simple: if Osimhen had been fit, they might have gone much further. Premier League limbo, Chelsea and Arsenal circle, but don't strike. Despite Osimhen's blockbuster year, his name continues to exist in the shadows of the transfer market, mentioned often but with little concrete progress. Chelsea remain in need of a top striker, having signed the young Liam Delap and the versatile Joao Pedro this summer, while uncertainty surrounds Nicholas Jackson's future. Marresca's system still requires a dominant number 9, and Osimhen fits the bill perfectly. Arsenal, too, have been linked. But like Chelsea, they're treading carefully in a market where the top-tier forwards, Victor Gyökeres, Benjamin Sesko, are all either too expensive, too raw, or simply unavailable. Osimhen, now with his Galatasaray campaign complete, is perhaps the best striker available, yet remains uncourted at the final hour. Why? Because Osimhen comes with baggage and brilliance. His salary demands are huge. Napoli still own his rights, and their valuation remains high. And even with his exploits in Turkey, questions persist about him not playing in one of Europe's top 5 leagues. It's the same doubt Victor Gyökeres faces after lighting up Portugal. Can these players translate dominance from a smaller league into Premier League winning performances? Marresca and Arteta, both methodical planners, aren't rushing to make that leap. Stay with us, Osimhen, Galatasaray's campaign of hope. Meanwhile, Galatasaray are doing all they can to retain their talisman. The club's fans have led a grassroots movement to persuade Osimhen to return. It began with a banner on the final day of the season, held aloft by supporters behind the goal, "Stay with us, Osimhen." 4 words that now encapsulate an entire city's plea. On billboards across Istanbul, the same message appeared, this time with a praying hands emoji. It was everywhere. In the city center, in shop windows, on bus stops. Children waved flags with Osimhen's face on them. One supporter even knitted an Osimhen doll, complete with the iconic mask and dyed blonde hair. Galatasaray manager Okan Buruk has left no doubt, if it were up to him, Osimhen would be the face of the club for the next 5 years. The financial reality, however, may bite hard. Even on loan, Osimhen stretched Galatasaray's wage budget to its limit. A permanent move would require a miracle, or a massive sale. Yet, the fans are hoping, praying, dreaming. They don't see him as a short-term superstar. His family now. Saudi interest looms, but Osimhen wants legacy. Osimhen, for his part, has remained silent about his next move. But sources close to the player indicate he is unmoved by money alone. Saudi Arabia is an option. Al Hilal reportedly have a massive offer ready, but Osimhen wants legacy, trophies, and elite competition. The Premier League is still the dream, even if it's complicated. Chelsea's hesitation, Arsenal's uncertainty, they've left the door open. The question is, will they walk through it? What's next? The waiting game. Victor Osimhen has nothing left to prove in Turkey, but the love he has found in Istanbul is genuine. Galatasaray would move heaven and earth to keep him. The Premier League giants continue to circle, unsure if they're ready to commit. Saudi Arabia remains on standby. The banner still flies, "Stay with us, Osimhen." But football doesn't run on emotion alone. Osimhen knows this summer might be his final big move. Whether it's Chelsea, Arsenal, Riyadh, or somehow Galatasaray again, one thing is certain. Victor Osimhen won't just sign for a club. He will give them everything.